Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Good to see familiar faces here as always. Hello Michael, great to see you. Look at that, I'm finally getting the hang of this. The comments are actually coming in at the right size for a change. Normally they just come in massive for some reason. Good to see you here. We've got the UK contingent here with Jeff and Chris as well. Good to see you both here as well. Did you get my mail, by the way, Chris? I did respond to it, but I think there must be something with the Dropbox link or something getting caught with the spam. I'm not sure, but I've resent something with it, trying to get it to you another way. So just let me know if you've got that, okay? And hi, Greg. I've just seen your picture, by the way, in the Let's Get Live group. It looks an awesome setup, so can't wait to hear how you're getting on with your MacBook. And good to know that we don't need any docks and things like that to have so many screens running as well. Hey, Eileen, always great to see you as well. Always a friendly face. Cool. Great. Glad you got it. I tell you what, this stream, I nearly yesterday I started setting it all up in Restream and put my thumbnail in, put the title in the description and stuff like that. And then I was just going to bed last night, and then I just suddenly thought, hang on a minute, I don't remember actually submitting that. And sure enough, I came back downstairs and my my Restream window was still open. I just hadn't pressed the submit button to actually schedule it. So it nearly wasn't scheduled. And then just 2 minutes before the stream, or rather a few seconds before the stream, I came to go and press live and realised I hadn't changed from record over to the Restream. So, but we got there in the end and managed to get out on time. So I've had a bit of a better week this week in terms of YouTube than the previous 3 weeks. I feel like the previous 3 weeks I just kept coming in and making excuses for not having done long form videos, just because I had been really quite busy with work stuff, and so that had encroached into my little 2 hours a day of YouTube time. So this week I have done a full 7 videos. So that's oh, no problem, Eileen. I totally understand. I'm just pleased you could make it. Yeah, I've done 7 videos this week. In fact, let's just get straight on into the stats, shall we? Having said that everything was in the right place, look at that. That's out of alignment, isn't it? Never mind. So it's day 365, week 24. It's day 169. Jumping ahead there. Week 24, or 24 weeks down, I should say. And so I'm still behind on my videos in terms of doing an average of 1 a day, but crucially I haven't fallen further behind like I did for the past 3 weeks. So I did get out basically a video a day for this week. Long form ones, although I did sort of fall short on the shorts. Previously I'd been doing all shorts and hadn't had enough of the long form, and then this last week I haven't put out any shorts, so I've just got to get back into the consistency with that now next week. So that's my aim, but it has been my sort of best week in terms of channel growth, bearing in mind that we're 24 weeks in. Everything's pretty much jumped up by 10% in this last week, so there's definitely been some sort of change of momentum there. The subscribers has gone up by 63 to 674. The watch hours, I'm so close now to that 4,000 watch hours that you need to be monetized. Obviously I'm not there with the subs, but still it's just that little milestone, isn't it? And then my views is about almost 40,000 views, so it is nice to see the numbers creeping up. And just because I normally do, let's just have a quick look at how the stats actually look in the analytics of Google. I'll just quickly switch this over. I should have been a bit more prepared. I was actually up. I normally get up at 3, and then it gives me an hour to get ready, and then 4 till 5 is when I get ready for the actual stream. And it's I say that, I mean, it's just basically organising these stats and the stuff. It's mainly drinking coffee that I do actually in that hour. But today I got up at 1 o'clock for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, I watched a couple of Doc's live streams, so that's always good and always productive. But let me come over to my this one. So these are my my stats. This is where my sort of stats changed, really, was around here, and that just coincided with the release of, what was it? Is it the beta or the latest Ecamm Live version? I think it was actually the beta. Hey Rich, good to see you. And you've still got the wrench, so make sure you keep him in check. So that's where my stats sort of jumped up, really, and I started to notice that I was gaining a little bit more traction with things. And then this sort of period where it slowed down was basically the last 3 weeks, where I've been a little bit quiet and not putting out such regular content. But basically it has now sort of picked up again with this past week of averaging a video a day. And then, the subscriber count is just sort of creeping up. Whereas, I mean, for the longest time, I was basically getting between 3 and 4 a day, something like that. Whereas for the past sort of week, 2 weeks, there's definitely been some sort of climb going on there. So that's just interesting to note. Again, I'm not losing sleep over it either way, but it's just interesting to note. So I will be getting back to putting the shorts out this week, because it did have an interesting impact on my sort of demographics and stuff like that. And whilst I know that regular viewers, as it were, prefer the long form stuff, I am interested to sort of throw the shorts into the mix to just in addition to that, so still doing an average of a long form video a day, but also I want to just get to doing a short a day as well, just to see what impact that has on the channel overall, and basically just get into doing it actually consistently, doing both of them for a month. And the past month has not at all been consistent, so hoping to return to that consistency going forward. So what else has been happening this week? Well, we've got the news about the Loupe Deck integration for Ecamm Live. I'm really pleased about this actually because it sort of feeds the little tech devil sitting on my shoulder, but also it sort of solves one issue that I had, or I suppose it's not really an issue, but the ability to control the volumes and things like that, the sort of input levels and sliders and stuff like that in Ecamm, but then also in other applications as well. So I can see how the Loupe Deck is going to be good for that. Interestingly, oh well, I say interestingly, it's you be the judge of that. But for me, one of the I've always been thinking about a Rodecaster Pro. Obviously, it's most YouTube creators these days, certainly in our group, have got them on their desks. And the only thing that I could see that I actually personally needed it for would be for levels and stuff like that, because I only have a single mic and it is the MV7 and it's got USB and XLR out, so I just use it over USB. But I thought, well, at some point maybe I might plug it into a Rodecaster and then have all of the functions that you get with that. But really, I'm not sure what functions I would use on it over and above the sliders, and I'm wondering if maybe the Loupe Deck might just sort of give me that little extra functionality to sort of negate the need for a Rodecaster. But we'll see. I might still get one at some point. Maybe I might upgrade my mic at some point as well. It's only a matter of time, isn't it, before people in the Let's Get Live group end up having an MV7. So we'll see how that goes. Sorry, an SM7B, I should say. So we'll see how we get on with that. But let's have a little look at the Loupe Deck, shall we? Because I did do a whole video of it on it, obviously. Mine, by the way, is arriving. I thought it was Sunday, but actually it's the 1st of November, so that's a Monday, not a Sunday. So yeah, not long to wait now. There is a discount code if you are an Ecamm Live user, and you can get 15% off, which is pretty amazing, really. And the other thing that really surprised me about this is there's no shipping cost. So it's really surprised me, that is, because normally whenever I buy anything tech, especially from sort of outside of Thailand, then usually I tend to find that the shipping and import cost is like another 25 to 50% on top. So I was really surprised at checkout when I checked out and there was just no delivery cost on it at all, no shipping cost. It's pretty amazing, that is. So it is a good deal. I noticed when it was actually shipped, it was shipped out of Hong Kong. So I bought it from the site, and here the price is in euros. So I did pay for it in euros and bought it from here with the 15% off, which worked out at, what was that, 215 or something like that, 210, I can't remember. And I obviously haven't got the mental processing to just work it out off the cuff. But anyway, so 15% off that. And yeah, it just it shipped out of Hong Kong, and yeah, it will be here very shortly. I was thinking I might have to wait a while because sometimes the international shipments take a while, but they've obviously just got, you know, different locations where they can ship them from. So it was shipped yesterday, and it will be here the day after tomorrow. So that's not bad for here, to be honest. I know in the US you can get pretty much you know, deliveries from Amazon within a couple of hours. I couldn't believe it. I was watching was it Doc's stream once, and Tom Buck was on there, and he was talking about I think it was the Loupe mic or something like that, and he said, oh, I think I might have to get one of those. And then literally like within 15 hours he was making a video about it. So it was pretty quick. I'm not used to speeds like that here. But yeah, so this is the Loupe Deck, and the thing that is different about it to the Stream Deck, and I know, Michael, you had mentioned that you were on the fence about it, and maybe my video might have helped you make the decision either way. It'd be interesting to know which way. The thing that's interesting about it is it has got these sort of tactile knobs on either side of it, but the buttons themselves are it's just like one big touch screen, so you don't get that sort of tactile feel to it. So it's interesting. I'm not sure how I'd work with that, because with my Stream Deck I do tend to just sort of like plonk my hand on it, and then I know exactly where I am. I can feel the edge and know how many, you know, you're never far from an edge on it, so you can usually just sort of feel your way to whichever key you want. So I can sort of look down and just press whichever button I need. The only thing then is just actually remembering where all the buttons are, and I have a habit sometimes of moving stuff around, and so I still end up looking down. But in theory, I can just touch the buttons and know exactly where I am. In fact, let me just quickly stick up my, see, this is, I'm doing it right now. I said I know where everything is, but I'm looking down to do it. I'm going to stick that right up for anybody who fancies jumping on and having a chat about the Loupe Deck. Because, or if anyone's got one already, in fact, because that's the thing that I see. I don't see that it would be a replacement to my Stream Deck. And if I had a choice between having some extra little knobs on it or having this sort of tactile feel of the keys, I think I would probably definitely go with the tactile feel of the keys. But I shall reserve final judgment until it arrives. Now I went for this one, which is the Loupedeck Live, which I sort of think is, I suppose it's similar to the Loupedeck to the Stream Deck XL in terms of it's got fewer actual programmable buttons here, but then you've got all these other sort of knobs and dials and things like that. So it's probably about comparable in some respect. I know Doc says you can't compare them; they're not the same, but they're pretty similar, aren't they? They're input devices that you can program with shortcuts and things like that. So. The other one, though, I might live to regret not trying this one out, and at some point in the future, I may give it a go. So this one is the CT, which is basically the Live. As you can see, the sort of top part of it is the same there, so it's pretty much the top part is the same. But then it's just got this extra sort of wheel at the bottom, this dial, and then this whole screen changes that you can display different things on that as well. And then you've got some sort of fixed buttons that don't have screens on them as such, but they are programmable as well. Yeah, I suppose if you're going to be doing heavy editing and things like that, I can certainly see that this would be a better choice potentially to have that sort of, scrolling through timelines and things like that, and a lot more hotkeys that are tactile that you can feel for various different editing things. I just wasn't sure exactly how I'd apply that to some of the other applications that I use. I mean, my 3D work that I don't really do so much of now. Anyway, I'm focused more on the stock stuff, the stock trading stuff. Yeah, I've got my sort of Space Mouse Pro that I use for my architectural stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly the use case I'd have for that, but it would be interesting to try one out at some point. Now, I did go ahead, even though I haven't got it, but of course I went and downloaded the software. So this is what the software looks like. My first impressions of it are it is not as intuitive as the Stream Deck, but then that may be because the Stream Deck is in many respects a much simpler functionality device, because you literally have just got one thing that it does, isn't it? It's you can program the key to do whatever you want it to, and just sort of drag the actions that you want onto the screen. Whereas this one, there is possibly a little bit more complexity to what some of these things can do, but just sort of going and having a little look through it, at first glance, it does just look a little bit more, a little bit less intuitive to use. And certainly I know that some people in the group have said that. I think it was Keely actually who bought one, and she sent hers back because she felt like it wasn't as intuitive. But you never know. She might give it another go now that it's got Ecamm integration. I'm not sure. But anyway, so yeah, there's just the same sorts of things though, lots of different actions. We've already got the Ecamm Live installed there. So you do need to have, if you've already got a Loupe Deck, you do need to have version 5 of the Loupe Deck software, and then you need to upgrade to the latest Ecamm Live, which is 3.9.1. And then that will prompt you when you install 3.9.1 to install the Ecamm Live Loupe Deck profile. So once you do that, then you've got different actions which are pretty similar to the ones that we've got for the Stream Deck actually. So you've got things like, play and pause, live preview mode, live demo mode I should say rather, and things like that. But then we've also got some of these other levels. So you've got basically levels for guests. So I can see that that's going to be really useful for people doing lots of interviews where they can have the volume levels or the input levels for guests. It's going to make that easier to sort of control that when you get people on who have got maybe their audio is not all at the same level, but then also you can change sort of movie microphone levels, all this sort of stuff, and then if you're doing things like maybe recording a podcast or something like that, or a live stream I guess, where you just want to fade music in or out, then you've got these for these little rotary dials and things like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to get that and play around with it. I shall be doing that obviously as soon as I get it. And that I'm going to be making videos about it as well. So yeah, what's Chris said, ask Santa. Well, yeah, I could always ask Santa to bring me a Rodecaster. The thing is, I've got quite a long list for Santa, and I don't know if he's always going to bring me what I want. He used to, but not anymore somehow. But I'll put it on the list. I'll definitely try and get my list out to him. Rodecaster is good for people that do a lot of interviews. Yeah, so yeah, and obviously it's got 4 channels in and all the other channels and stuff like that. So yeah, I know a lot of people do use them when they're just doing sort of single shows, but it just seems, especially with the MV7 and the I always forget the name of the app. It's the Motive app, the Shure Motive app, which does a little bit of audio processing, and it's not like I sound the absolute best I possibly could, but I'm limited by my my instrument, really, aren't I? I mean, my instrument, not this instrument. Yeah, I've never sort of felt like my audio is the thing that is the factor on the channel that needs the most improvement. To be honest, it's the camera. Now, I am waiting for the ZV-E10 or ZV-E10 is not available in Thailand yet. Well, it is available, but it's just there's no stock, so I've got to wait for that. But that will be my next upgrade. Actually, will be to upgrade my camera finally, because I have been still going on the 10-year-old Canon EOS 60D, so I'm still working with that at the moment. So definitely the camera, I think, is the next thing that I'll update. Yeah, for the SM7B, you do need something like a cloud lifter or something like that to go into it. I mean, that was part of the reason why I went with the MV7 actually originally, was because I did consider the SM7B because it is kind of like the gold standard in certainly the level of stuff that I'm doing. I know there are far greater microphones and stuff like that, as Doc is always telling us. But yeah, I did consider the SM7B and the Rodecaster and the cloud lifter, but it was just like altogether as a package, it was quite a lot compared to the MV7. And the other thing that I chose this for was the fact that it is sort of portable, and I've got the dual outputs of the USB and the XLR as well, so I could always upgrade it a little bit later. Although in practice, probably what I'd end up doing is when I do get a Rodecaster, I would. Do you notice the language that I use then? Having just spent the past 5 minutes dismissing it, saying I don't think I need it, I've just started a sentence with "when I get a Rodecaster." Oh dear, the little voices in my head are becoming more dominant. But yeah, so if I did, then I probably just would upgrade to the SM7B at that time as well. And yeah, as you point out, you do need a booster like it. There's another one that Keith Pelzer recommends actually. So there's the cloud lifter, and then he's got another one which is. I forget what it's called now, but yeah, it just looks a nice little bit of hardware as well. So yeah, yes, the little tech devil on my shoulder sometimes takes over and gets to control my my speech momentarily. I have. It's inbuilt in me. I've got gear acquisition since that was it, Jeff, by the way. Yeah, the fathead, yes. Yeah, gear acquisition syndrome. No, that might have been it, actually. So there was one that was basically like by a small boutique company out of Germany, I think. And it was, so I have heard of the fathead and the, obviously the cloud lifter, but there was this other one, and it might have been that one. It might have been that one indeed. I'm not sure. But anyway, all of that is to say that now it is proclaimed with certainty that at some point in the future I will be getting a Rodecaster, and I will get one of those things. But first things first, focus on picture quality. I need to sort out my camera first. And I'm thinking of actually doing a proper sort of studio build, basically, because I just need to basically do something with my my background and create something a little bit different. I have been I have been using this whole setup for like Zoom meetings and things like that, which is why I went down the green screen route originally. In fact, I went down the green screen route because it was before COVID. I was moving around different locations, hotels, and moving from up in here where I am in northeast of Thailand and down to Bangkok for meetings and stuff like that. So I had a sort of portable green screen that I used to use whenever I was on a Zoom call, and then also for creating course content. That was back in the day when I was actually editing it all. So I was spending even more time in front of the green screen to go and edit it all later. But fortunately, no edits now. And so I do like the versatility of a green screen, that you can just sort of change the background. So I do use it for different use cases. But I am thinking of just actually building a proper sort of YouTube space, really. And it could be as simple as I still have the green screen for other things, but then just swivel my monitor around and have a scene over on the another side for my YouTube stuff, a bit like they did with the Ecamm Live Studio build. So if you haven't seen that, that's there's a great load of videos in there for that, where they basically did have just two walls. So it was in the corner of their office space, and then one wall was a sort of grey wall that they could shine lights on to obviously give it any colour, and then the other wall was I think it was like a wood panel effect for another look to the scene. So yes, I do, Jeff, run Zoom meetings with Ecamm. Just always. And sometimes I'm just basically using the virtual camera with the green screen with a different background behind it. But then other times I am actually doing sort of like presentations and stuff like that, where it's just actually going into the meeting. So yeah, always use that. In fact, there was somebody asking in the I nearly missed this the start of this, because I was reading somebody's question in the Ecamm group, which I haven't got back to yet, but they had asked about if they are running a virtual event, or they're running an event but they also want to sell tickets to a virtual event, and could this be done with Ecamm? And I was just about to reply, but I thought I'd better come on my scheduled live stream instead. But yeah, I mean, you could just do something like a virtual event. If you've got an in-person event and you want to just film it, they had got a 2 or 3 camera setup, so they wanted to produce it through Ecamm. And then how could they get that out? Well, you could easily do that just running it as a webinar. That's what I was about to answer. Run it as a Zoom webinar, so people can pay to get access. That means that they're not technically sort of part of the meeting. It's not like a meeting where you're going to see all the little squares of everybody. So they just join as a webinar, and then they could just sort of feed it out through Ecamm. So yeah, I'm actually going to create a whole course on using Ecamm with Zoom, and it's sort of been in the back of my head for a while now, really. Well, almost since the start of the channel. But then it was watching Doc's stream this morning, and he was talking about, because we were talking about the affiliate program for Amazon. Not for Amazon, for Ecamm. And I just sort of mentioned that I don't think I've ever got anybody sign up to Ecamm through my affiliate link, even though it's in all of my videos and stuff like that. But that's because everybody who watches my videos pretty much are Ecamm users anyway. So they're not going to obviously sign up if they're already members. But he mentioned something about, potentially making some sort of content or course material for people who are, totally outside, but how to basically improve their he was talking about architects, because I've got a sort of architectural background, so how to basically create a course for architects to give better presentations of their stuff to their clients, their work. I won't call it stuff, their work to their clients and things like that. So it just sort of really spurred me on to just sort of think about, I've just got to get into action and actually create this, because I've got all of the material technically, but I just need to get out there and make it. And so having a course that is specifically for how to level up your Zoom meetings, and then obviously Ecamm would be the recommendation for that, from an Ecamm affiliate point of view, it would be good, because obviously I'd be recommending Ecamm, but only because you know how much I love it. In fact, let me come out of this scene for a moment. So yeah, I'm going to do a whole series on Zoom. I'm going to do a load of Zoom videos on this channel, to be honest. But the problem I have is I've got so many videos to make, and I don't really know which ones to do first. And so one thing that happened this week was my sort of community tab in YouTube opened up to me. So I think you have to have it used to be over 1,000, but now you only need over 500. But then it takes a little while for it to actually become active. And so that community tab became open. So I asked the question in there about what people want to see on the channel and stuff like that. So I am trying to prioritize it based on what people want, but I've also, like I say, got a load of content on it. And Kat's got a great course on that, hasn't she? I haven't done her course, but I've obviously seen her videos, and she's amazing at it. So if I can do half as good as she does, then I'll be very happy. So yeah, I can. I will be making a Zoom thing, and I thought that would be also something that maybe might be separate to the channel. I'll still do Zoom content on the channel, but there was another series I did of 5 videos, which was about the green screen sharing. And the thing is, I've done 4 of them and I just haven't got around to doing the 5th. So I don't know the best way to go about being a little bit more structured. I don't know whether to have like a week where I focus on on the channel I'm talking about. Do I have a week where I focus on one thing and one thing only, and then the next week I focus on another one? Or is it better to sort of mix it up a little bit so that you get little bits of everything throughout the week? I'm not really too sure about that. I'm still trying to figure out the best approach. So I'd love to hear your feedback. You know, should I have a Zoom week, a keyboard maestro week, a whatever Stream Deck week, obviously there will be a Loupe Deck week? Would it be better to do it like that in chunks of weeks, or would it be better to sort of filter them out, like Monday is Zoom day, Tuesday is, you know, I don't know, something like that? I'm still trying to obviously figure this whole YouTube thing out, as you can all tell. I definitely am doing the Keyboard Maestro stuff because I did the beginner's guide and I'd got 5 planned and I've done 1. I have done some other Keyboard Maestro videos, but they're sort of sporadic and few and far between and not necessarily focused on a set path. That's why I like the sort of course structure, because from a personal point of view, if I'm going to research something or do something, I like to have just like a course that is going to tell me like these are all of the steps and it's easy to follow. Whereas if you are sort of a YouTube researcher, as I am as well, sometimes I don't know if I've seen everything or not. Like when I started with Ecamm, I watched some of Adrian Salisbury's videos. I haven't done his course at all, but I watched some of his videos, and the thing I found was I never knew quite whether have I found everything yet, have I learned everything yet, or not. And so that's part of the reason why I made that that mammoth 4.5 hour zero to hero tutorial video for Ecamm, because I know that 4.5 hours is a long time for people to sit through a video, but I know that people did. I've had quite a lot of views on that video actually, because people know that if they watch it from start to finish, they're gonna have been told everything that they need to know. So there is that aspect to it. You reckon so? Weeks are good to better to follow. Yeah, well, so that's what I'll perhaps do then. I'll have like a Zoom week. Maybe next week will be Keyboard Maestro week, because that one's been waiting for a while, and then I'll get onto doing a Zoom week. Mind you, if my Loupe Deck, see, this is the problem, things crop up. If my Loupe Deck's coming on Monday, there is definitely there is definitely going to be a few videos about that coming out. Maybe next week might be Loupe Deck week. This is the problem. There is too much content to create. What I need to do is basically clone myself, I think, and get a few more hours out there. So I was thinking about that, Rich. I need a new 3 to 4 hour video. I am going to do that one, and I might even do that this weekend. But it won't be 3 to 4 hours, because I reckon I can probably do it in 2. I reckon that people could be taken through from start to finish in like getting everything set up in maybe 2 to 3 hours, perhaps 2.5 hours, something like that. Because the last one was, a lot of the time was spent making overlays in Keynote, and you just don't need to do that in anything. You don't need to do that in I'm just laughing at Chris's comment. You don't need to do that in the latest version of Ecamm, obviously. So there's no need to go in and explain all the intricacies of Keynote and how you do this and that. And you basically, the last tutorial that I did, that 4.5 hour one, it was a mixture of teaching people Ecamm, but also teaching people Keynote as well. And we've pretty much eliminated that, apart from perhaps like if you want to do animated overlays or things like that, then yeah, there's not going to be anywhere near as much as that. So I reckon if I was to remake that video now, I could probably do something like that in maybe 2.5 hours, something like that, but we'll see. Chris, this is the challenge, you see. So the Loupe Deck arrives on Monday. What am I going to do? I'm definitely going to do an unboxing, and I'm going to definitely be setting it all up for Ecamm. So it'd be rude not to make a video about setting it up for Ecamm as well. Yeah, it's a challenge. This is the problem. And if they keep popping out with new updates and things, that's the other thing over the past 3 weeks, apart from me just being having my other work stuff, which I took on board what Rich, you mentioned last week as well, where you asked if you could see some of the other stuff that I do with Ecamm. And so I do want to make a video at some point just showing like some of the other stuff that I do, just to illustrate the different use cases for it. Because I think it is useful. I've always tried to stay away from like cross promoting like other businesses and stuff like that, just so that this is a sort of more focused channel. But there is a lot of use cases for it. And when I see there was somebody in the in the Ecamm community who said something to the effect of Ecamm Live is expensive. At whatever it was, I forget the price of it now. Well, I know what it is monthly, but they were quoting the annual figure. It was something like 300 and something a year to pay for it upfront for a year. And hey, Rich, I've got an answer for you on that. Just a minute though. I'll come to that in a moment. That Rich about ProMouse. Yeah, they were talking about in the community how 300 and I forget the exact figure it is. Is it 370, 380 if you're paying up front for the annual subscription to Ecamm? And they were saying, oh, it's quite expensive and all this just to have a virtual virtual camera, which is one of the pro features. And I've got to stop just looking down at the comments because you're making me laugh. So they were talking about how expensive it is, and I thought to myself, it's actually like just over $1 a day for Ecamm. If you can't create value at $1 a day from Ecamm Live, you probably don't need it. You probably don't need to get it. If you can't create $1 worth of value every day from Ecamm Live, try OBS. It's just laughable when I actually thought about like the actual cost of it and the people complain about. I do get it. I do get that the fact that if you're doing any of this, then the costs all do add up, don't they? If you've got this and you're doing something else, but if you're using it for your business as well and promoting the business, and like one of the things that I've been doing recently is we're just raising funds for one of our businesses, and so I'm creating basically like a whole investor pack that is videos demonstrating the product and things like that. So it's a software as a system product basically. So it's I've just been making all the content for that and showing how it works, the principle behind it, all the back end architecture, all the user interfaces and stuff like that, and just giving walkthroughs and stuff like that of what the product is basically. And it's $1 a day is just hilarious for Ecamm Live for the actual cost of it for what it does. It's quite astounding. And like when I looked through all the list of all the features that came in this version of it and of 3.9. I've got no idea what's coming in 4.0, but I mean, you've got to think a 4.0 release has got to be something quite big. So we'll see. But yeah, it's just, anyway, that's a bit of a digression. So the point was that, Rich, you mentioned last week about showing some of the other stuff I do. So I want to figure out a way to actually make a video to show how I use it for other things, to maybe give some other people ideas of how they could use it and maybe get more value out of it. Because I think people sort of sit on it, they have it for one thing, but haven't maybe thought of like other ways that they can use it to, as I say, for their business or whatever. So ProMouse. I had I do coaching calls that you can book at takeonetech.io/consultation. And so if you've got any like tech issues and stuff like that, then I can jump on a call and help you with whatever it is. ProMouse. I can't necessarily help you with ProMouse. I should retract that statement. But things like Stream Deck and setting up Ecamm or any other sort of tech issues. So I was on there the other day with somebody else who was a ProMouse user, and we're getting the ProMouse set up. It was already set up, but it just wasn't showing. And in the end, what it was is for them, this is the thing that gets me about ProMouse. People seem to have a whole range of different problems. There isn't the same problems. There is one problem which crops up all the time, which is just the fact that when people share an app in Ecamm Live as the screen sharing, and then they're moving the ProMouse over it, and then they can see it on their screen, but it doesn't come out in the output. That one is easy to answer, because that is basically that Ecamm Live is sharing the app that you've selected to the exclusion of all other apps, and as ProMouse is an app, it doesn't show ProMouse, so that's why. And all you need to do to resolve that is share your screen and then crop in on the app, and then it will just show up. So a lot of people have that issue, not realizing what the actual underlying problem is, and that isn't an issue with ProMouse. It's just that you've told Ecamm not to show other apps. So that's that one. But then there's all these other things that people have sort of differing problems with. And so this lovely chap that I was on the call with, we were setting it up, and basically his halo worked. But then whenever he pressed the shortcut to show the zoom feature or the magnifying glass, that's the same thing, the zoom feature or the spotlight feature, it just wasn't showing up on the screen. Never mind, not Ecamm, it just wasn't showing up on the screen. So it made me think that was something to do with the screen sharing permissions, because in order for it to zoom the screen, it's something related to, it's actually got to have access to the screen in order to zoom it, and that would be the same with the spotlight one as well. But went through, did all the troubleshooting things, and all the settings were fine in the security and preferences and things like that, where you give it access to screen sharing and so on. So all of that stuff was there, and in the end, uninstalled it and reinstalled it, and it all worked again perfectly. And so that was working. But I could see how these things, because it's just always worked for me out of the box, as it were. I've never had any issue with it, and I've never had any issue with it all the time I've been using with it. So I don't know quite why that should be. But in any case, I actually reached out to the developer. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get a response back. This was literally a couple of days ago. So to answer your question, Rich, I have reached out to the developer to get an answer, because I've got 3 videos on my channel about it. One of them is the first video that I did saying how great it was. The other 2 are troubleshooting videos for, if you're having problems, try this. And I know that people have tried these things that I've recommended, and in some cases it hasn't worked. So yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm tempted to just take it down and then quietly use my Pro Mouse on my demos. And if anyone asks me what it is, I'm just going to say, I don't know. Because yeah. So yeah, the Pro Mouse saga continues. Let me have a look. What else have we got? What's next? 6-minute abs. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got a lot of catching up to do to catch up with you. Speaking of 6-minute abs, Greg, you're looking in top shape for your competition. So I certainly won't be competing with you anytime soon. That's what I'm hoping, Chris. I want to get him on and just find out. I mean, it could be that there's some like things that in terms of the troubleshooting that I've just not thought about. It's hard to know what could be the issue, and I know that there is an issue with Logitech keyboards with the not being able to use the function key, but I'll see if we get anything back, and if they've got any other solutions there as well. Oh, hi Tommy, nice to see you. I think it's your first time on my stream, so great to see you here. You installed Cursor Pro, and it's great software. Very well done and high quality. Excellent. Well, there is Cursor Pro. I know that Paul Duncan's mentioned that one a few times. There is another one called Mouse Pose. I used to use that before. Oh, hi, Chris. Hi, Chris and Jeff. Yeah, it's there's Mouse Pose, which is basically a similar sort of thing. I don't know why I ever stopped using Mouse Pose, actually. It's a good question. I should probably reinstall it and give it another go. Yeah, so your Pro Mouse does not work. Yeah, we've had to talk about this. So you have the same problem. It doesn't zoom, uninstalled and reinstalled, but still doesn't work. Yeah, we've got to get answers on this, haven't we? We have got to get answers on this, because it's so frustrating for me, because I know what a great app it is when it's working, because like I say, it just works for me. So it is a bit frustrating that, and it's not just like if it was one person saying, oh, it didn't work, then that's fair enough, but it's a lot of tech savvy people that are having problems with it as well. So like yourself, Chris, and like Doc, and like everybody else who's had issues with it, they're all tech savvy people who shouldn't really have issues with with software. So I'll give Cursor Pro a go as well, though, because I know Paul Duncan's mentioned that, so I'll give that one a go, and I'll also reinstall Mouse Pose as well, and give that one another go. I used to use that one years ago, and then I stopped doing any sorts of where I needed to do screen demos for quite a few years, actually, and then I sort of came back to it, and I don't know why I didn't just go back to Mouse Pose. I think, how did I hear about Pro Mouse? I think I probably heard about Pro Mouse on MacBreak Weekly with Leo Laporte, and I think it was a recommendation from Andy Anotko originally that I heard it from. So yeah, that's that's where I got it from. Hey Dean, good to see you here. Hey, it was great to see you on the base the other day on your Facebook page. Yeah, looking really really good. You and the band. And Sammy Superstar. Caught your interview with Rene Ritchie, by the way. We got all the people in today, and Doc. Yeah, it's Alec with a C. To be honest with you, I still answer to Alex. I'm just so used to most people just assume that it's Alex rather than Alec anyway. So, but yeah, it's always a bit confusing when there's two of us in the room, isn't it? I was just talking about you earlier, Doc, by the way, because I was specifically talking about my my new course that I'm going to be making for how to get better results with your Zoom calls and Ecamm Live. And I thought about architects, which I will market it to, but I will make it a little bit more generic as well. It's sort of been on my my list of things to do from the outset, really. I've got actually sort of 5 different ideas for courses that I want to create, because there was I forget who it was now on your live stream. Was it I think it might have been Stephanie Liu who said about information is free but people pay for organization, and I know that is the case with me as well. I'd rather have I do, obviously I go to the University of YouTube. But I do also, you know, if there's something that I need to know where I want a structured flow to it, then I will just pay for a course for it, because then you know that you've covered everything. So yeah, the live stream of yours earlier, Doc, was really helpful, and you know that I'm going to be putting that into action at some point very soon. So yeah, I'm going to do a mixture of stuff on this channel, but then also obviously creating the course, and I'll actually just do some proper marketing for that one as well, because I do also have a marketing company. So it would be rude of me not to actually use the resources to promote my own stuff. The one thing I don't do is promote this channel, as you might have guessed through it. But yeah, I'll definitely be create the course and then run some ads, and I'll probably make a video about that, to be honest, about how to market a course online as well, like on this channel that's, you know, tech related, and figure out the way to talk about the tech sort of side of stuff. Hey, Alicio, always great to see you here. Do you know what, Alicio? You've had such inspirational posts recently. In terms of just the, you know, the messages that you have, where it's just like a sentence or something. They really lift me up. They do. So I really enjoy seeing those. And by the way, that video you made for your sister, I thought that was totally on point with the you know, the promo video, and you mentioned about how you just sort of trying out, you haven't done many promo videos. The whole thing came across awesome, I thought, and your sister, man, she's got an awesome mission and message as well. So yeah, really impressed with all of that. Yeah, so I've completely lost my train of thought now. So in terms of the content, yes, coming back to you, Chris, I will think about a way to structure it more, and yeah, I definitely think that the Loupe Deck is probably going to be a bit of a focus over the next few videos when it eventually arrives on Monday. But I will get back to my my Keyboard Maestro. The other Keyboard Maestro video that I've got to do is actually an Ecamm Live video, which is my basically one button to set up everything. And oh, you're making me feel hungry, Doc. Watching and eating ramen. Well, I shall. Yeah, I'll probably have some noodle soup myself. That's a common breakfast over here. So yeah, I'll perhaps have that for breakfast this morning. And what's this one? Mirror magnet. Let me have a little look. Tommy is mentioning you can look at Mirror Magnet 2 from the same developer. Another great software if you just want to add the camera on screen without Ecamm or OBS. Is great software. Oh right, I get you. So yeah, when you're doing screen demos, to have the thing in. Yeah, I know that, I don't want to speak for you, Chris, but I know that, Chris, you're all into the Ecamm. It's just the ongoing Pro Mouse. By the way, Doc, if you just came, we have been talking about Pro Mouse. So yeah, that's really the issue, Tommy, is just this Pro Mouse issue, which I don't have, but lots of other people seem to have. So we'll see what the developer comes back with, because I have reached out to him. So we'll see what he comes out with. I'm becoming tech support, you know, for Pro Mouse. I get lots of comments on the video still, like the first video that I did, which is, and this it's the same one that comes back, is like, oh, it's not showing in Ecamm when I'm in demo, when I'm screen sharing, but there is just that same issue. So yeah, that is about all I've got. What am I talking about today? That's about all I'm up to, really, is the next week is my Loupe Deck week. I will get those. I know what I was talking about. There we go. Lost my train of thought. My what's it called now? Now my mind is gone. But this is happening to me more and more. I found the other day that I was just forgetting the most basic things that are on the tip of my tongue that I can't quite remember, and I've forgotten the name once again of my my favourite app of all time. Well, second of course, the Ecamm Live. This is happening more and more these days. The app that we were just talking about is literally on the tip of my tongue. Oh, this is hilarious. I've just been talking about it, haven't I? Let me go back. It's in the chat, so I'll find out. Let me see. Not Pro Mouse. No, we've talked about Pro Mouse. We've talked about Pro Mouse. What else is it? Pro Mouse can die in Elicio's fire. Keyboard Maestro. Thank you, Michael. This is ridiculous, isn't it? Thank you. Everyone's screaming at their screen. Keyboard Maestro. Yes, so the point that I was going to talk about was the next Keyboard Maestro video that I'm actually going to make is the Keyboard Maestro video for... that is it. It's too much content. That's the problem. I've got too many apps on the brain and I can't remember them all the time. So yeah, Keyboard Maestro. I'm going to make the video about Keyboard Maestro and Ecamm Live and basically how I set that up. So to position all of my windows and things like that. In fact, I could probably just give you a quick look at that. Let me just quickly bring up my Keyboard Maestro because it won't take too long. I will make a proper video about this and I'll probably make a total hash of this now, having said that I'm going to show you. But let me just come to Ecamm Live where I've got it. So the thing about... yeah, it's funny, isn't it? There we go. But... I'll take that. It has really been happening to me a lot. I tell you another thing that I do. I always used to have a little chuckle when my parents would do this when I was younger. But what I do now is when I'm calling any of my kids, I cycle through all of the names before I get to the one that I actually want to speak to. So there's Dale, there's Jasmine, and there's Emily. And if I'm talking to Dale, I'll just say, Jasmine, Emily, Dale. So I cycle through them all. It's quite hilarious. Hey, Louis, great to see you here. I do love I'd never noticed the cowboy hat emoji before, but I think it looks hilarious. It's one of my favorites now. So yeah, great to see you here. Apple Script and Automator. Yeah, well, I use those as well. I will get to those. They are on the list, believe me. I've got quite a long list. My list now, I think, is at around about 130 videos that I've got to make. So it's a case of I go through those and I can never choose which one to do, but they're all kind of like all my kind of 30-minute style videos, basically. So I've got a bit of a list, and then there's still others that get added to them as well. So it's I just need to clone myself really and make more of them. So yeah, I will do those. And yes, Jeff Moom as well. So I do. So my Ecamm setup. Let me just show you this, shall I? And then it'll make a lot more sense. In fact, I'll stick this one up here, and then I'll share this other screen. So this is my Keyboard Maestro, and basically what I do is I've got a few different toggles, because with Keyboard Maestro you can trigger a macro, but you can also, within a macro, you can trigger other macros. So that means you can set up little, think of them like, I think of them like code snippets, little blocks of macros, and then you can just sort of call those in to other macros depending on what it is you want to do. So one of the things that I have is my windows for Ecamm Live. I use a... hang on a minute. This guy is awesome. I do like Don McAllister. I haven't watched any of his stuff for quite a while, but he's a great guy. I really like his style and his things like that. So I will, Doc. I will be getting I will be getting a paywall up, but not in terms of limiting content that I'm doing here. I will be making tutorials and stuff like that, or courses rather, that are specific and that I have a sort of paywall up for, that people obviously pay to get access. But I won't be sort of withholding information from here either. But yeah, he's a great guy. I don't know him personally, but oh, he's your mate, is he? Oh, well, that's great. Yeah, I know him from years ago. I haven't watched any of his stuff or noticed any of his stuff for quite a few years now. But I've been into Mac Break Weekly since, I think it might even be episode 1 or 2, and this week in tech. So I've been following along with all those things, and yeah, Don McAllister was always up there in those circles, wasn't he? So yeah, great guy. But yeah, coming to Keyboard Maestro, this is why I need to do these as recorded videos rather than part of the live stream, because I just get distracted. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I do need to do that. That's kind of the way I've been thinking. Like when I did my Keyboard Maestro Beginner's Guide, is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I've got the advanced and so on. I haven't actually made those videos yet, but I've done the same with some of my other topics where I've got them sort of labelled, and they are in a sort of. In fact, which was the other one? I did another one in a sort of structured flow like that. I can't just remember now. But anyway, I digress. So let me get back to. Let's get back to how to do this with Keyboard Maestro. So what I've done is where I have my my windows. In fact, let me just come into live demo mode, and you'll see what a mess my desktop looks like at the moment. So here is my live demo mode, and I've got my little zoomy feature. So over here is where I've got my windows for the live stream, and in the window here, you can choose what you want to show. So you can choose to show the camera effects and toggle it on and off. In fact, this is one thing. You can't actually toggle it off in the window. I'll come to this in a minute. You can't toggle these off by clicking on there. I have put in a feature request to Ken and Glenn to do that, so that actually if you come and select this and click it, then it will toggle it off. And I'll show you why in a moment. But then also, if you come in here, you can obviously just hide these things. So if I just hide these windows now, I won't hide the comments just because I don't want that one out of the way. I won't hide the interview window, and I'll just close that one down as well. So, whoops, there we go. So now I haven't basically got my my Ecamm Live windows open. Well, what I did was I created in Keyboard Maestro, I created a shortcut, which is this one. And if I click on this one, in fact, let me just execute that. I'll just double check that I haven't got anything in there. Oh no, I can't do that one yet. That will actually reboot everything. So toggle panels. So basically, I've got a set of base panels. If I just run this one, it basically just opens only the panels that I use for recording, because I don't want all the chat and everything like that open. So if I click on that macro, what it does is it goes into my my window here. It hides all windows. So if you click on this one, it hides the, not that one, this one, hide all utility windows. So my Keyboard Maestro triggers that to basically just hide everything so that there's no windows on the screen. And then it puts in just the windows that I want. So if I go in and click on this live one now, so I'm over here on in Keyboard Maestro. So if I click this one to toggle my live panels and click run on that one, you see how it's basically just opened everything. But when I go back to recording mode, I just click on this one. I don't actually click on any of these. They're all part of a multi macro setup that I have linked to one button on my Stream Deck. So if I did that one, you can see how it's just put up my recording windows. So that's just basically 2 macros. Okay, so I use those particular macros when I'm recording for this channel, or when I'm recording for any of my other not channels, but my other content that I'm creating using Ecamm Live. And so having that as a little sort of subroutine, I think of it as that I can just drop that into any other Keyboard Maestro routine or macro then to bring it in. So I've got a key that basically sets up all of my screens for where I want things. So if I just let me just come to my Stream Deck for a minute. Right, I did a video all about my Stream Deck, and by the way, my icon pack that I've got for Ecamm Live Stream Deck is available on my website as well. I just literally uploaded it yesterday. So if I come to this panel here, you can see that I've basically got these 4 different views, which are basically 4 different quadrants of the screen for when I'm doing my screen sharing. So the one that I've got on now, in fact, let me just drop this one off for a moment so that you can see. The one that I have open now is actually this one down at the bottom. whoops daisy, no it's not, it's this one down at the top, up at the top. So this is basically my sort of 4 quadrants of the screen, because my screen is a 4K screen and 43 inch, and so the corners are basically, each of those is effectively HD, isn't it? So I can either focus to this top corner, the bottom corner, or the bottom left, or the top left, like that. And if I focus down to that bottom one, that's where I just got the Loupedeck thing. So if I click on this button down here, you'll see that my picture changes to the Loupedeck. And if I switch over to one on the other side of the screen, my little picture-in-picture changes, because then when I'm looking at that, it looks like I'm looking at the right place. So I've got these different areas of the screen that I've set up on Stream Deck. So that, whoops, Daisy, gone to the wrong one there. So that I've always got the particular area of the screen that I'm focused on. So if I come into my live demo mode, you can see, if I've just moved this one around, let me just close that one out of the way. You can see I've got this place here up in the top right, where I've got my Stream Deck. I've got this area down at the bottom, which is where I've got my a web browser. I've got this one over on the left-hand side, where I happen to have Chrome at the moment. And then I could also put something up in this top corner here as well. Let me just get the comments up just so I can see. So basically what I want to do is, when I open Ecamm Live, I want to make sure that everything's going into the right place. So my browser windows are in the right place and things like that. So that thing that I just showed you, where it basically clears off all of the Ecamm windows and opens just the Ecamm windows that I want, it basically triggers that to close down everything that I don't need and open just the windows I want. It also, with Keyboard Maestro, I've got another little subroutine that opens things like whether I need a Stream Deck open, the Stream Deck app, the browser windows and things like that, and just puts those into the right, and it opens those apps up. But then I've also got Moom, which is a window management tool. And so the Moom is used for, basically, I've got a set layout for how I want everything set up. And that basically, triggering that Moom action, then make sure that these things are all in the right place. So if I go over to my bottom left, what you'll see, let me come out of demo mode, you can see that my browser is exactly, in fact, I've moved my browser out of the way, but that is, it would be just perfectly filling this this window. My Chrome is perfectly filling the window. My Stream Deck up in the top is filling the window. And if I had anything in the top corner, then that would be filling that one as well. The reason why I use this top corner as well is because then I can do stuff where I need to demo the menus and stuff like that as well. So that is how I use that. And so when I'm in live demo mode, when I'm in starting up rather, it puts everything exactly where it needs to be. And so that's basically one button. And I also have the button to close down all non-essential apps and also background processes as well. So that's another little subroutine I've got in Keyboard Maestro. And then with Stream Deck, using the KM link, or KM, what's it called? KM link, is it? It's there is a Keyboard Maestro plugin for Stream Deck, but there's another one which I find to be better than that, and it's called, one second, where's it gone? Here, it's called, yeah, it is called KM link, and that one, you just basically put in the name of the macro that you want. In fact, let me just show you, show not tell. Let's go to here. I'll just delete one of these out of the way. So if I come to my Keyboard Maestro link, one second. Have I gone into that scene yet? I'm not in the right scene, hang on. I'm moving too quick for my own good here. There we go. Let me come over to Stream Deck. So it's this one basically, KM link. So it appears in here, and it's just, there's only one action for it. It comes in the custom buttons. You do have to install it, so you'd need to go into the store, the Stream Deck store, and get the plugin for KM link. But then it's just one button, and you basically can just in here just assign any of your macros that you've got in Keyboard Maestro to it, and when you press the button, it triggers the macro. So I've got one button that basically just closes down everything I don't need. It opens up Ecamm Live. It also switches profiles. So I did a video this week about how to switch profiles with shortcuts or with Keyboard Maestro. So I do it with Keyboard Maestro. So it switches me to the right profile, and then it puts all my windows in the right place, and also all of the app windows it opens up and puts in the right place, ready for recording. So I'm literally ready to go at the press of a button. That's the way it's sort of working for me at the moment. And I don't, yeah, it would just be a bit of a hassle to have to do that every time. So I will be making a proper video about that, about the full process with all of the instructions and the. What I'll do as well is I'll actually make the. I'll include a free download for the keyboard Maestro macros that I've set up to do all of the stuff like open all the windows and close all the windows and stuff like that. So let me just get back to some of these comments and. Max Sparky. Oh, I love Max Sparky. Yeah, he's great. He's got loads of Mac Power Users podcast I've been listening to for so long. He's really great, and he's got a really great way about him in delivery style and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely a fan of Max Sparky. Michael's joining. Let me just get to some of these comments. I'll just add you in, Michael. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to get a series of different animated overlays to set up a launch during my recorded videos. Basically, different subscribe buttons. Is multifunction with delays in between the best option? A different series of different animated overlays. That could be a multi-action. You could have it with a sort of timing so that they come in at different times. Yeah, definitely, that would be an option. I'm happy to talk through exactly what you want with that and help you with that. Let me just get to some of these other. Hello, Michael. Good to see you.
Hello.
Did you get? Let me just. He did. So that is. I'm just answering. I'm answering Louis' question to Doc about his coloured windscreen. It's at reporterstore.com is where that comes from for the mic covers for the SM7B. He's already answered it. Look at that. He's one step ahead. The video's coming soon, Dean. I'll try and make that one this week so that it can. You can get it all all sorted. I am indeed Tim. Chris, I always get confused and call you Tim, and it's because one of my business partners is called Tim, and I'm on the phone to him or talking to him all the time, and then I just get your name wrong. So sorry, Chris. I am doing that video with all the introduction stuff, all the opening up of Ecamm. There we go. I'm all caught up. So how have you been, Michael?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Very good, very good. And I'm really keen to know, what is your verdict on Loupedeck? You mentioned that my video might have convinced you one way or the other.
Well, yeah, I've watched Doc so long, and he talks about the Loupedeck periodically.
Yeah.
And, and I had some questions about it. Then Ecamm came out and said they support it. And then you said that you were getting one. But one of the things that concerns me, and I'd like you to check it when you get yours, Luria did a video on the Loupedeck.
I saw that, yeah.
She was having an awful lot of trouble because the screen itself is so sensitive. She was hitting the wrong button. When she tried to slide to the next page, she would hit a button instead. And I'd like you to focus on that in your tutorial also.
Yeah. It's one of the issues that I see with it. I mean, obviously I haven't got one in my hand yet, but I do like the sort of tactile feel to the buttons and stuff like that. And just an all glass screen. I've used things that have got like all glass screens where the buttons are, you just got to hit the right touch target on the screen. And it's not always, I mean, obviously that's what the iPhone is, but I find that a lot of other products aren't quite the same in terms of getting those touch targets right.
Yeah, I was wondering if she had, if there was a place on it where you were supposed to slide to the next page and she just wasn't hitting it, or whether you have to put your hand on the screen itself and risk hitting a button instead of sliding it.
Yeah, could well be.
Because I can see where that would be a problem for me with my shaky hands.
Yeah. And Jeff said, could it be long nails? Well, fortunately, I won't have that problem. No. But yeah, that could be it. If it could be it just touching some other part of the screen.
But I'm prone to getting one, but I'm going to wait for your videos and see what you think.
Right. Well, not long. I'm purely speculating here. My instinct is if I just had to choose between one of them, I would still choose the Stream Deck just because I do like these the tactile buttons. But then I'm not doing stuff like editing either, and it's literally my use case for it is there are some things where I'm going to be using the dials to adjust different things, but generally I'm not doing like the larger Loupe Deck with the main dial. I can see for editing as like a scrubbing through the timelines and stuff like that. It's just not something that
I would be interested to know if the dials would function on like you're trying to put a border and you want it to be a certain 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if that would work because again, trying to do it with a mouse, you have to really you barely move the mouse. And
yeah.
you think about moving the mouse and it jumps up too many.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to know.
Well, I know that they've put in a lot of functionality for what the dials can do, but also it is kind of still it's almost like a 1.0 release of the integration with Ecamm as well. So I'm sure they're open to suggestions if we've got any ideas about how people want to use it to make it better.
Right. And there was something else about the Loupe Deck. Oh, it'll come to me as soon as I quit having a senior moment.
Yeah, I'm having more and more senior moments myself. So
yeah. Earlier, when you were asking a question about one topic a week or one a day, I put an answer in. What I think is that taking a week for something makes more sense because it keeps you focused on what you're trying to do instead of doing a Monday video and waiting for the next Monday for the next part to come through.
Yes, got you. Yeah.
To me, that's the way I would rather see it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I try and break my videos down into like a series of 5, like the green screen overlay one, which I still haven't finished, was a series of 5. My introduction to Keyboard Maestro was a series of 5. I did a beginner's guide to Stream Deck, which was 5. And then I did have in my head, like, in the list, in fact, the intermediate videos and the advanced videos as well. And they're all in chunks of 5. So, yeah, with me wanting to do a video, basically averaging a video a day, I could have like a random video, and then I could have a 5, like Monday to Friday, something like that, and then my live stream, obviously. So that'd give me 7 in the week. So yeah, perhaps there could be like 5 focused videos and then like one random one that comes up as well.
Yeah,
I will implement that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it makes more. Well, it's like your green screen share.
Yeah,
and that's what I call it. I leave that extra green out.
Screen share. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's too much of a mouthful otherwise.
Yeah, your green screen share. I followed 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then expected to see 5 the next day, and it never came. And and that's not a complaint, but you see where waiting for another week to go by doesn't make as much sense as being able to follow it step by step through the week.
Yeah. I think another thing that I should probably do, which I never do, but is actually record them and not release them until I have got the full series, and then I wouldn't have that issue. I mean, in that particular case, so that was it must have been 4 weeks ago. In fact, I think that was the last sort of block of videos that I did, and then I had 1 week where basically I was just in a conference all day, every day for a week. Then I had another week where I just got all of this other stuff going on, work related. So I've basically had apart from this last week, the 3 weeks previously were all just, only basically doing like 1 or 2 videos a week, which is not, for me, is not not enough to keep up the pace. So, it's just, and then they're going to release 3.9, obviously. So then when I did make a video, I had to make a video about that. And then, so it's, I've got to catch up, but perhaps making the videos, like recording 5 as a series and then just releasing these.
Exactly.
Perhaps do that.
That's what I was going to say. That would be the way to do it. Then they're all in the bag, and you don't have to worry about, obviously your business and your family have to come first, and that. But at least that way, everything is ready to go at once.
Yes. Yeah.
And while you're talking about 3.9, but do you know what was new in the new beta release they released this morning? or
The
yesterday?
yeah, it was I had the issue myself. It was for Canon cameras over USB. So there was an issue. It might have been other cameras as well, but I had an issue with my Canon plugged in over USB where there was basically it just came across as having a really low frame rate. So it was really sort of, I don't know the technical term, to be honest. I might be getting this wrong, but it just came across as a really low frame rate on the screen. It wasn't actually as bad in the output, but it was still definitely there. But on the screen, it looked really pronounced that it was, that sort of motion to it.
So that was the only thing.
Yeah, so it's still there in the actual 3.9 release. This is when they released it. This was there. So they've worked on a fix for it and put it into the beta. So anybody who mentions that they've got this issue, we can direct them to the beta, and it's working fine now. So I updated, and the problem was totally fixed.
So I had actually gotten rid of the beta and was using the regular 3.9. Then in the group, when I saw that the new beta was out, I said, wait a minute, there might be something I need. So I went ahead and downloaded it again. Hope they were working on the green screen thing, but
yeah, I'm sure it'll make it in. I'm sure it'll make it in.
I didn't see the little blurb that I usually see that says, here's what we did with this beta.
It was just one line, actually. It was just literally fixes an issue with, I think they actually said DSLR cameras frame rate or something like that. But I'm still using the beta because, I'm still just staying, even though it's technically the same. Well, now it's not actually, but as of yesterday, it was the same as the regular version. So I'm just staying on the beta to see what new delights come out.
I just wanted to make sure I asked you to double check that sensitivity of that screen on the Loupe Deck.
Oh, I'll be giving it I already foresee that as an issue, so I'll be interested. I'm hoping that it will just delight me and I'll see something different.
Yeah, you watch Luria's stream on the Loupe Deck.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, when I saw that, I should have realized that Ecamm was coming out with something.
Yeah,
because otherwise she had no reason. Otherwise, she had no reason to do it.
Yeah,
but she was having so much trouble with it. I said, "Wait a minute, this is more of a problem for me than I need."
Yeah,
because I've got the Stream Deck, which works fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I try to memorize where the buttons are, and I keep my hand down around the buttons. And with that one, you can't put your hand on a button and feel your way to the next one.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to have to have.
The other one that I'm interested in. That's going to
have some specific purposes for me to make it worthwhile.
So the other one that I'm interested in, let me just bring this up now. Having said that, I've got all my scenes set up. I'm not sure which area of the scene I'm sharing here. Just move some things out of the way. Have you heard of Monogram?
No. But I'm only seeing you. I don't see you.
You're in. I tell you what it was. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Let me just go into my settings. I did a demo the other day and I changed it because I was basically demoing something to do with interview mode. And so I changed it so that you only see the host camera because I needed to do that for the demo. Can you see that now?
Okay. Yes.
So Monogram is, let's just go down and see. Basically, it's kind of really modular. So you've got sliders in this module, and you can see this little sort of square shape. The modules are all either square or this sort of half-height rectangle shape. So you can basically just pop them together in any configuration you want. You have this one module which is kind of like the core module, if you like, but then you've got this one which has got 3 buttons. You've got this one which is a big dial, sort of I suppose a jog wheel for editing. You've got these dials here and then these dials, and then you've got this one which is sliders, and you can basically just mix and match these and put them into let's have a little look. You can put them into almost any configuration you want. And change the sort of use case for it. So if you're doing photo editing or something like that, you could have 3 different ones stuck together, or you might want to have something for a different use case. And you can just basically, I think they're even actually just magnetic, so they just clunk together. And as long as you've got this one main sort of control module, then all of these other ones just join onto that, and they just all work. So I don't know if this is these will integrate as yet with Ecamm, or if that is something else where they'd have to put in a I'm sure they would need to put in some sort of functionality that would allow it to work. But that's another one that I've been looking at that just seems quite interesting in the way that you can basically just mix and match with all these different things to create exactly the setup that you want. And that one could be another one to be to look at. You can see there, it's just got these little contacts at the top, and they just sort of clunk together and all join together. So,
and is that monogram.com?
It is. Let me drop the link in. Whoops, I'll do that. It's monogramcc.com. So let me just drop the link into the chat. Where's my chat gone? Moved it out of the way. It's all very well having arranged windows, but then if you sort of move them around midstream, then you get them lost. So yeah, that's Monogram. I know that I think that Doc was looking at that. I know that Keely Dunn in the group, I think that she might have given that one a go. I'm not sure. I'll have to check with her. But just another bit of gear for the little voice on my shoulder to whisper to me about in the nighttime.
I don't know whether it's Doc or Alec.
Well, I've definitely got a Doc on my shoulder. In fact, I've got two. I've got one that whispers about gear, and then I've got another one telling me to get stuff done. my little coach. Thank you, Rich, for mentioning that. My Buy Me a Coffee link. It's very kind of you. Chris, I agree. Focus weeks are much better. Right, that's decided it. I will make some distinct sort of like series of 5 a week, and then one other random video a week as well. Rack 'em and stack 'em. Yeah, I'll definitely need to get the back catalogue, and that means I've got to be even more productive over the next few days to actually just get some in the back catalogue rather than just putting them out immediately. And hey Richard, great to see you. Well, that's the thing. Stream Deck is if it wasn't for feeling like I needed to do it as a service to all of you lovely people, I'm not sure I would be jumping quite onto the Loupe Deck bandwagon just yet, but I feel I've got to do it as a service to the community. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. It's not gas at all. It's not gear acquisition syndrome.
No, of course not. No. Now, do you have the ability to return if it doesn't work for you?
I never even considered that option.
A lot of the stuff that I get from B&H or Amazon, and I always have the ability to return it if it doesn't work for me. Because sometimes seeing the picture and reading the description on the internet is not the same as having it here and trying it out. Right. Yeah.
I bought it direct from Loupe Deck, from the Loupe Deck website. So I don't know if that does or not.
And I think that code only works at their website, right? It wouldn't work in Amazon.
That's right. Yeah, it is. It is only at their website. I still can't believe though that they didn't charge me shipping, which is quite amazing. To get 15% off and then not get shipping charged to Thailand is. I was quite pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah. Some companies do that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a Amazon Prime member, but I don't pay shipping for them either.
Yeah.
And if it isn't on Prime, I don't buy it at Amazon.
Right.
Because that way you're dealing with another company other than Amazon, you don't necessarily know their reputation or whatnot.
Yeah. We don't.
But anyway.
I can order stuff from Amazon, any Amazon actually, so US Amazon or Amazon.co.uk as well. So I've ordered stuff from there to come here. That always takes a little bit longer with the shipping, and the shipping cost is a little bit more. But we've got something over here which is similar to Amazon that everyone over here uses called Lazada, and it's sort of for Southeast Asia. And we can get lots of stuff on there actually. But you do have to watch out. Some of it is from Thailand, and then other products come from China. And I did have a completely fake, a Western Digital, those little My Passport hard drives. So I had one of those that I ordered from it, which the price of it seemed reasonable. It wasn't like a totally unrealistically low price or anything like that, and I just ordered it. But the thing that gave it away was the Western Digital My Passport drives. When they come, if you've bought a red one, you'll get a red cable with it. If you've bought a blue one, it'll have a blue cable. And this one came, everything looked perfect, the box looked perfect and everything, but the cable was black in it, and I thought that is not how they are normally shipped. And so I actually opened the case of it, like literally opened the sort of the hard shell of the thing to look at the hard drive inside, and sure enough, it wasn't a Western Digital drive at all. It was like literally a repurposed knockoff drive from something else. So sent it back, reported the seller, and got like a full refund. But you do get those sorts of things happening over here. But bit of a digression that. But it's.
I'm looking forward to the Loupe Deck. I really think I have some uses for it, but again, if it's going to be more trouble than it's worth, I'm not going to go with it.
Yeah, well, it's the dials that I like, and that's why I like that monogram thing, because you're not really getting the all of the other functions as well. It's literally just that it's just these sort of dials that you could use. So. That's the functionality that I really want from the Loupe Deck, and so maybe this might be another option as well. But like I say, they don't have the integration for that in Ecamm as such. So thank you very much, Jeff, for stopping by. I appreciate it's very late at night there, midnight in fact. So thank you for stopping by. Always great to see you. And thanks as well.
Good night, Jeff.
For Jeff sent me a message the other day about one of my videos, the video quality, and I really appreciate you taking the time to point that out as well. It just actually hadn't finished uploading and processing, but that was something else. I just post my videos straight away as soon as I've uploaded them. I don't have any scheduling usually to them, but what that means is sometimes it hasn't finished processing the HD version or the 4K version, and so basically if somebody clicks on it immediately when the video is first available, then it could potentially be in a kind of lower resolution. So that's made me think that perhaps the other thing I should do is, even if I don't schedule them as such, then I should certainly sort of schedule them for maybe 2 hours after I've made them so that it has time for YouTube to do the processing. So that was great feedback, that was, Jeff. Much appreciated. Yeah, I don't know the last time that I actually returned something, apart from, as I say, that dodgy drive. But yeah, Loupe Deck equals content. It does indeed. There will be a Loupe Deck series. And Jeff says, nice stream into Adrian's group. Oh, it'd be interesting to hear, by the way. I know that there's quite a few of you doing the Adrian's course, so I'd be really interested to hear how you've all got on with that as well. Never gave you enough time to make more content. Do you know what I haven't had enough time of recently is I've not had time to actually catch up with content from my favorite creators. I've not watched your previous couple of weeks at least worth of stuff, Greg. I haven't watched, apart from Doc's live stream today and a few days ago and stuff like that. I tend to catch those ones. I haven't watched Tom Buck's videos for it's got to be over a month's worth of videos that I've not watched of his. I just haven't had time to be watching YouTube content. I've been too busy trying to make it, and not enough time watching other ones. So thanks for stopping by, Chris. Always a pleasure. And yeah, very late for the the UK contingent, but always appreciate seeing you here. So, so have you got a date, by the way, planned for your next live stream, Michael? Or have you thought about what?
Yeah, I think it's going to be this week.
Oh, cool.
But I'm still trying to put together what I can talk about on it, and we'll go from there. There's a couple of apps I use that that I think are I think they're worthwhile. And actually just found out today that one of the apps that I bought some time ago is actually in Setup.
Setup, right.
Yeah. So if people like what I say about it, then they can get it there.
Yep. That's got quite a good affiliate program, actually, Setup, which is basically if you send somebody to Setup and they get the free trial, then when they sign up, they get a free month, and then you get a free month as well. So it's just another little thing that helps out with...
Is there a place where you sign up to be an affiliate with them?
Yeah, it's actually right in the... Let me just have a little look now, shall I? I think it's in the Setup desktop app, or it's certainly on the website. Let me have a little look here. Just quickly, I think... no, you go to the app and then you go to view my account. And then you don't actually have to do anything to sign up. It's just literally you've got your code already in there. If you go to set app in fact, let me just show you this, shall I? Be easier. Don't think I've got any sensitive information on there. There we go. So that is my setup web page. So if I come into setup on the Mac, first of all, let me just take you through these steps. It won't take a moment. So this is setup on the Mac, and then if you go up into the top corner up here, you've got your account, and then there's a button here to view my account. And so when you go on to view my account, then there's this thing down here which says earn free months, and then you click on that one. Let me just see. I don't think it gives names. It does actually tell you who's signed up, I think. So yeah, you can see. In fact, there we go. Nothing sensitive on there. So if you click on that earn free months, basically you've just got a referral link here. So you just copy this link. You don't have to sign up for anything. It's just literally there in everyone who uses setup. And then you just share that link with people. And so I've just got basically a redirect. So if you go to takeonetech.io/setup, it's basically just forwards through to this URL. And then there you can see that 16 people basically have clicked on my link and 6 people have subscribed. So that means that I get a free month and they get a free month as well. And at $9.99, basically it's $10. So it's basically $60 that's come from me talking about setup apps on the channel. So it's not a huge amount, but it's $60 that certainly covers. Well, it's certainly covered my setup for the next 6 months, hasn't it? So yeah. It's a really easy way. And yeah, that's how setup works. So whoops, wrong scene. There we go. So yeah, just anybody who uses it can share that and share it with your friends and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out things I can fill my page with when people go to my video like you do. So I thought the affiliate links would be interesting. And you already told me how to do Amazon and now setup.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I never really know what to put on that page, but I can list my gear like you did. You know, and where I got it and what I use it for and whatnot.
Greg is saying, just set a schedule for a recurring live stream, and then you just figure it out when it starts.
Yeah, great.
What are the other affiliate links? Let me think. So there's you use TubeBuddy as well. That one's got quite a good affiliate program. What are the other ones?
Are any of them like Amazon where you've got to get so many clicks or they take you off the program?
No, it's just Amazon's the one that does that. In fact, I've got my Amazon affiliate, and then I've also set it up. It's in the US, but then you can also set up your Amazon affiliate in other countries as well. And basically, if people click on your link, but then they go through to the other country, then you'll still get credit even if they've bought the product in the other country. But I actually just got my Take One Tech UK Amazon affiliate. They sent me the notification saying it's been 90 days, you haven't had 3 sales through that. So most of my Amazon affiliates traffic is just going through the US store. So yeah.
That's because most of your listeners do.
That's it, yeah. No, Doc just dropped out and he says Batman and Robin are in full effect.
Yeah. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, so that's what he did. Just create his schedule and then just get stuck in. I often think about, what to discuss. I mean, I've obviously got a thing that is I suppose the sort of foundation of my live streams every week, which is I'm giving an update on my channel, because part of the thing is me just sort of sharing the experience and progress as I try and grow the channel. So I've always got that as a starting point, but sometimes I'm at a loss to exactly what I'm going to say. In the initial live streams, I actually, because I didn't have any audience, I actually did them more like videos. So I had a specific topic for each one, and I sort of planned out what the topic was going to be for each live stream. But recently, I've not really done that. It's just been a case of it comes to the week and I'm thinking like, right, what's happened this weekend? What am I going to talk about? But I don't know whether having a live stream that is more structured might be a bit better, or whether to just leave that for like recorded videos instead. My problem with the lives is that I do get distracted. I know that I should just sort of focus on something and not get distracted too much by the comments. There is a process to, look at the comments, focus, deliver what you've got to deliver, and then come back to the comments. But I don't know. I just always end up reading them halfway through and getting distracted.
I was having that trouble on my stream when I was talking to you, and the comments were coming up on the other screen, and I'd have to keep looking over there to see where they were.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure out how to put them up on the screen.
Yeah.
And but we got that figured out.
Yeah, it was really
with
good.
With your help, of course.
It was really, really good fun. That was definitely looking forward to.
Tomorrow, was it tomorrow night? Yeah, tomorrow night we'll have to tell them what we have planned.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Start one of those.
So that's the same with me, actually. So I had a 3-hour live stream. I think it was the week before last, and it was one where I woke up and I said, to be honest, guys, I'm just a bit tired. I've only had a couple of hours sleep. I had a meeting that ran on late on. I have these Friday evening meetings for me. Friday evening, obviously it's Saturday morning here, but I have these Friday morning meetings now, which are nearly coming to an end, but they're quite late for me. So they're way after my bedtime. So it was the week before last, or maybe the week before that even, where I said, I basically got nothing. I've been in a conference all week and I've had a really late night. So feeling tired, don't know what I've got to talk about, and it was 3 hours. So and the ones that I plan sometimes just I rattle through the material and then it's like, right, I have got nothing now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm looking forward to that stream I wanted to make with you.
Me too.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll talk about it in office hours.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tease there. Yeah, you've got to subscribe to Wrinkle City on YouTube to get the latest on that.
I picked up a few subscribers.
I know. Yes, you did. I'm not surprised.
And I've had 60 some views, which is for me is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's the ball's rolling now, isn't it? So
yeah, it is.
You've now got viewers to serve.
Right, and I'm sure that Doc expects it to keep rolling, so I will.
Yeah.
And Doc, I'm not 97. Oh, I love that man. And yes, I am going to Hawaii.
Well, you'll have to let me know. Have to let me know when you're planning it for.
Well, maybe I'll be there at a time when Doc's doing office hours or something. We can do it together.
or just not tell him and just gate crash.
Yeah, knock on his door like his friend does periodically.
Yeah.
Say, hello, Doc. Anyway,
I did actually think of cunningly cropping his background and cropping his background and using that as my green screen during office hours, but I haven't got around to that yet.
Yeah. Well, there was somebody that was showing off their office some time back, and they happened to step out of the picture long enough for me to do a screen grab, and I thought, I'll use that as a green screen, and then I thought, no, you can't do that. That's somebody else's property. But it was a thought. Well, that's what we all do. We ought to all have the same background as Doc.
Yeah. That would be quite amusing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to office hours tomorrow. I always look for it. It's one of the highlights of the week, really. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how everyone's got on this week with their things. And we've got a few things to go through, I think, in office hours. Everyone talking about what they plan to do for the rest of the year. Yeah, time to set some actions.
And I'm not going to tell you now because they're going to ask me tomorrow night.
Yep. I've got a load. One of my things is to get back into consistency, which I've sort of done a little bit this week. But yeah, I felt like the previous 3 weeks I was just totally out of it and only did like 2 or 3 weeks, 1 or 2 videos a week. But yeah, getting back to the video a week. I'll also now set the intention to have a series of 5 videos every week on a specific topic, and I'll get that one done. But I've also got to get back to the shorts because I didn't do any shorts this week, so it's kind of like I went from one to the other.
I thought you had I thought you had a bunch of shorts
I've,
in the
I've
bank.
I've done all of those. Yeah, I've put all of those ones out, and so now I've got to record another bank of them.
Oh, okay.
So I basically did those for 3 weeks of essentially one a day. In fact, it was more than that, wasn't it? I can't remember now. But yeah, I've got to record some more of those. So yeah, get back to doing a short a day and a video a day, and keep that going for a month, and then sort of review the stats after that.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Every time I watch one of your videos, you've had 6 or 7 more subscribers.
Yeah, it's nice to see it sort of creeping up slowly but surely. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's all.
I can't keep track of it.
Uh-huh.
I can't make you a congratulations banner because I don't know what number to put in it.
Well, I've still got your one that you sent me when I reached 100 because you've been there from the very beginning, Michael. So I always appreciate your support and encouragement that you give me. So yeah.
Well, and I'll continue to be there. I mean, you and Doc are my mainstay.
Oh,
I
thank
get
you.
up and I watch everything you two do, and then the rest of the day I'm playing.
Well, you've not just been playing; you've been putting it all into practice. So it's great to see that. How about for your I know you make videos for your family and stuff like that. How have you been getting on with those with using Ecamm for that? Have you been doing a lot of those recently?
I love doing it with Ecamm because it makes it so much easier for me. And then I show them the video, like I showed that alligator video, and of course they all get excited, and they say, "Oh, there I am, and there I am."
Uh-huh.
I video when we get together and do things. All of my family lives in Tampa, which is about 35 miles from me, and except one brother who is up in North Carolina, and but he comes down quite a bit, and we get together as a family because we're all we have left. We've lost our parents some time ago, and so we enjoy it. We get together and I video it, and I cut out things I don't want in them, and because I enjoy editing also,
Right.
and cut out the things I don't want, put in some flashy stuff, and then show the video to them. And of course, then they all say, "Well, where can I download it?" I said, "Well, no. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, it's copyrighted. You can't download it." But I have also made them several DVDs of various videos so that they could play them at home. Things like one of my niece's weddings, and well, actually 2 of my niece's weddings, and one of my niece's graduation from college, and
Uh-huh.
so I made videos and put them on a DVD so they could have those as keepsakes, so that when they pass away, the kids can all say, "What do I do with this?"
Uh-huh.
I think we all have stuff that is important to us, but when we're gone, they're going to say, "The hell do you want with this? Throw
Uh-huh.
it."
Well, I know that I've got a lot of stuff like that in my my filing cabinets and things like that around the place, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I've thought several times I'm going to have to go through my filing cabinets because there's stuff in there that is not necessarily any of their business
Uh-huh.
and probably don't need anymore. So I have a nice shredder. Let's just shred it. But at any rate, that's the way it goes. And I've got hard drive on hard drive of stuff that I'm doing a course where I'll be making if.
So now Vlogmas, actually, this raises a question. What exactly is Vlogmas? I know that it is a video every day in December, but what's the structure to it? Because I did Leader this year, live every day in August, and for that I thought it was just a case of we're all just going to go live every day and that's it. I didn't realise there was a full course structure to it almost. So I still don't really know exactly how Vlogmas works as in terms of. Are they pre-recorded videos? Are they live videos? Do they go into a particular group? Do we do them just on our channels? Do we do it into the LGL group? Interested to know exactly where that is, because I'll definitely be doing that, obviously.
That is about to go on my list of notes for Doc tomorrow night.
Right.
Because I have a list of questions for him.
Yeah.
And one of them is dealing with that problem I had with the video earlier in the week.
Oh yes,
kept cutting itself off.
Ah, yes, yeah. Did you ever find anything about that, by the way?
No, because the ones I made after that worked fine.
That's really
I
interesting.
made I made a couple of test ones where I actually within the video had a stopwatch running, so I could see how much was getting cut off, and nothing was hardly anything was getting cut off, a second or two. But the one I tried to send you, 35 seconds was cut off.
Uh-huh. That's
So
really
I don't
strange,
know
isn't
if it
it?
was just a fluke or
Uh-huh.
Vlogmas. Got
Uh,
it. It's on.
so he says, so just videos every day, all 31 days. So yeah, so have they got to be any particular theme, or is there anything else? I mean, if I'm doing videos every day anyway, then I need to do something a little bit different in addition to that, I think, for the purposes of Vlogmas. So I'm just interested to see. What I need to do is actually, I suppose I just need to go back and watch the Vlogmas videos from last year, which I wasn't here. I wasn't here for. I wasn't. I wasn't part of the LGL community at that point. So I will be getting my merch ready, though. By the way, for Vlogmas, so I'll probably be doing a few videos with that. My recovering perfectionist and a few other ideas that I've got as well. I've already spoke to
you got
Press.
merchandise coming out?
Yeah, with I spoke to Press and So. Actually, I spoke to Press and So probably was it a month ago. Sylvia and Andrew, and they are just such lovely people. They really are. And the other thing about it is, I've heard loads of people talk about Press and So and how great they are. And if you need any merch, then that's you've got to speak to them. And so I had pretty high expectations going into my meeting that I'd booked with them, the call that I booked with them to talk about what my sort of ideas were, and they totally blew me away. Like, I know that they haven't started the stuff yet, but what they proposed as a package and how they work and the way that they were and everything, all the interaction with them was just amazing. They're just such lovely people. So it's just basically I've got to get them artwork and stuff like that over. They can create it themselves, but I've got all that sort of stuff sorted. So in fact, I need to actually let me do that today, shall I? Because there's a bit of a lead time to sort of get things up and running with it. So yeah, definitely need to get that ready before December, so I can be sporting my own recovering perfectionist tops and hat. So Greg might be joining the Vlogmas, and Naughty Paul late again. Stand in the corner, please. Never mind. And
My teachers never said please.
yeah. Where's my stick gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem, Paul. You're forgiven, of course. And twice on Christmas Day. Yeah, I'll just have to think about Vlogmas. So yeah, where to do it to. Obviously, I've got my regular videos, and then I'll have to think of something a little bit different and a little bit special to do for that.
Yeah, I wonder if it has to have any particular theme, or
Uh-huh.
or can you just get on and talk? Here I am, and here's where I live, and there's the dog.
Yeah, we'll talk it over with Doc tomorrow. We'll make sure to bring it up and have
I already made a note.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I would put my hand up, but we both know what that does.
Don't trigger the ob spot.
Yeah, well, although I got a new poll today, in fact, it came while you were online live, and it's going to allow me to raise that camera up and use it as a top down.
Right.
And
Yes.
put my EV10 in the middle.
Yep.
So that way I won't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wave at the camera.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it follows me everywhere. And there's software. They had a software update to it this morning, so I downloaded it. But it came with a warning not to upgrade to Monterey because it doesn't work with Monterey yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I'm definitely going to put my EV10 up because, you want to be on the latest, or at least I think you should be on the latest version of the operating system.
Yeah, that's what I always do. I know some people hold off. There was somebody in the group
I've already been notified that it's there and that I should upgrade, but I'm going to now, tonight after I get off this, I'm going to set up that other poll, and then I won't have to worry about it not working.
Yeah. Oh, incidentally, we talked about the latest beta, and it's got a fix for the Canon camera frame rate issue. That was specifically with Monterey, so it wasn't there before. It was only when I upgraded to Monterey that there was that frame rate issue with the camera over USB.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why, and because they had already released the 3.9, and then there was this frame rate issue that came out sort of literally the day afterwards. It was when Monterey was released as well. So that's why there was a
so you've already upgraded to Monterey.
Yeah. This is another whole thing that I've got to make videos about, because they've got integration with shortcuts now. So shortcuts that you have on iOS, which I use heavily as well, that's now just on the Mac. So I'll be making a load of videos about that as well.
And I would watch that one and download them all.
Yeah.
I've never really have learned everything that the operating system does. I usually just learn what I need to use, and I know there's so much stuff that it does. I mean, I watched the presentation from Apple Park, and and some of it just went right over the top of my head. I had no idea what they're talking about, especially when they're talking about chips. Yeah, I'm sure the people that are listening that are interested understand what they're talking about in the chips. All I know is that faster and better. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And when your Loupe Deck arrives, my new MacBook Pro is supposed to arrive.
Oh, of course,
the 2nd of November.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see if they come through with it. But it's supposed to arrive. In fact, they had no trouble charging my credit card already, so I have to assume it's coming.
Yeah.
But I haven't got it's shipped yet.
Right. Got
and of course, they ship from China, and sometimes the stuff will go right through immigration and customs and everything else, and other times they hold it 2 or 3 days, so you don't really know when it's coming.
Right.
I've had stuff where I've even contacted the people I bought it from and said, "Look, you said you shipped it. Where is it?" And you'll get a note back. Well, it's held up in customs in Alaska. Or held up in customs in Chicago, wherever the plane landed. And I said, well, what's the problem? They know what's in it. They have the ability to open and look, look, and send it on. But at any rate, we'll see.
Well, you'll have to let me know how you get on with that. I mean, I know that Greg has got his one in. If you look in the LGL group, he's got it all set up with his monitors and just plugged them all straight in. So I'd be really interested to see to hear how you're finding that, Greg, as well. And I like the idea about the T-shirt, by the way. He was some more merch. Take Two Tech.
Greg has more than one monitor plugged into his MacBook.
Yeah. So let me just quickly grab the. Let me see, where is it? I'll get the LGL group on a shortcut here, actually, obviously on my Stream Deck, and I can show you the picture because it looks a really nice setup. I've got to say, Greg, I'm really impressed. Let me just get this up. Here we go. Now I've gone out of that menu. I need to go back into my recording one. Here we go. In fact, no, I shall come into this one. That's a bit better.
Oh my God.
That looks great, doesn't it? What a great looking setup.
It does. And how is it that he can put 3 monitors into the MacBook?
I don't know. We'll have to hopefully he can shed some light on it. So but it just looks a really nice setup, that does. What a great looking studio.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I do need to work on getting myself a proper studio setup, actually. So
well, I don't have very much room in this little room, so I mean, like, I can almost, not quite, but I can almost touch that stand back there. And from the beginning when we first started, can take 4. Oh, the new MacBook can take 4. Oh, wonderful.
And the Pro can do 3. That's interesting. So the MacBook can take 4, but the MacBook Pro, I'm not sure about that.
He's saying the MacBook Pro can only do 3.
Ah, right.
Well, that's right. I only have two.
Yeah, that's what he's got anyway. So that's what Greg's got. He's got three monitors attached to it. Cool. I got you.
Well,
the Max is 4, and the Pro I get you. So the one with the Max chip is Pro.
I can do 4 then, because I have the Max.
Yeah, I've got to stay on the ball. I was confused then for a moment.
Yeah. I had something I was going to say, and it had nothing to do with Keyboard Maestro. I lost it.
Well, I haven't upgraded my
videos.
Sorry,
in one of your other videos, you also forgot the words for Keyboard Maestro.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Funny.
It goes out of my head. It's happened a few times with Keyboard Maestro specifically. The other one is
you have sticky notes. Put it up on your screen so that when you want to talk about it, all you have to do is look at it.
Yeah. Just have a list of my favorite apps around here. Yeah, and the names of my kids, because, like I say, that's the other one. I cycle through them. If I'm calling Jasmine, I'll go Dale, Emily, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Well, I only have one kid, and so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, how's he doing today?
He's doing fine, except he's not getting any bones.
Right.
But that's all right. That was more of a joke than anything else.
Well, I'm sure when you start doing more streams, they'll start coming thick and fast.
Yeah. No, but no, he's doing very well. I don't know how he can sleep so much, but no matter where I go in the house, he's right behind me. And then when I sit down, he's right at my feet. And the only problem I have is when I want to use the bathroom, there's one right outside this office, and it's not big enough for both of us to be in there at the same time. And he doesn't understand why he can't come in. But at any rate.
That's funny, Doc. Do you know, it's one thing that I don't really use any sort of voice assistants. I've never got into actually using them. I should probably. I surprise myself that I haven't done, considering I'm all about the automation and making things easier. I don't know quite why. I've never just actually got into using these sorts of things. I do use Siri for dictation, but oh, that's funny. Yeah, I do use Siri for dictation, but I don't use it for other stuff. I really should start. I'm a bit behind. I'm about how many years has that been out now where you can use Siri for actual voice commands? I'll tell you the one that I do use actually. I don't use an Apple Watch anymore. I use my Ecamm watch, a proper watch. But when I did use an Apple Watch for the first year when it came out, I did used to have it for my like coffee timer and stuff like that. So I used to use voice for that, telling it to start my coffee timer or do this or do that. But since I haven't been using the Apple Watch, I've just not really used Siri at all. Do you use it much at all, Michael?
Yes, but see, if Apple makes it, I have it.
Yeah. Well, I got the first Apple Watch, but to be honest with you, I don't know why the watch never took with me. It's I actually just really like my this watch I've had for I think 12 years now, which is it's just a big lump of metal. It doesn't even, you probably can't see it. It hasn't even got proper hands on it. It's just there's 2 steel discs inside it. It's just a big block of machined metal, and I like the aesthetic of that. So I've just never gone back to the Apple Watch after I had the first one.
Yeah, no, I have the Apple Watch. I have like I said, if Apple puts it out,
all the things.
Yeah. And if I'd have been smart, I never would have turned in some of my computers, because my first Macintosh now is an antique.
Yeah.
But it went by the wayside a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the MacBook Pro that I have now is getting traded in towards the new one, and they gave me quite a deal on it, so I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
They gave me, I guess, a little more than half of what I paid for it, which is not bad.
That's pretty good.
And I might have been able to sell it for more, online, but this way they just deduct it from the price of the one I'm buying, and
you have a lot of time cost involved, don't you?
And I don't have to worry about I don't have to worry about, well, is the check going to clear from the people that want to buy it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, it works fine for me. I did the same thing when I upgraded my iPad Pro. I just turned in the old one, and of
Mhm.
course, I'm a stickler for keeping things neat and orderly and no scratches and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always get the top dollar,
Uh-huh.
and they tell you this is what we'll give you if it passes our test when we get it, and it always passes their test because
Uh-huh.
no scratches, no dents, no nothing. I mean, it just so anyway,
I
it's
usually keep
and
my things in pretty good condition, but there's always a danger window within the first week. If I'm going to break something, I'll do it literally like within days of getting it, where I'll just get it and drop it or something like that. But if I get
oh
past a
yeah,
week,
yeah,
then I'm usually pretty safe.
yeah. No, of course I have sturdy desks, and I make sure that everything is properly on the desk far enough so it can't be slid off. And um, but at any rate, it's I'm looking forward to it. Right now, I'm still waiting to set up the MacBook I have now because I've been playing around so much and watching so much on YouTube that I
Yeah,
haven't gotten around to moving all my scenes. Well, I moved my scenes over, my profiles,
yeah.
but I have to go back in, and even though they show up in the menu, the
Oh,
pictures
you
aren't there.
mentioned about the assets not being there. I still haven't done a little test on that. I need to test it and move some stuff over to my old MacBook as well, and just test that and find out why. If that's yeah, I'll do a little bit of digging on that.
Well, and
Uh,
I move all the folders that the assets are in to the
yeah,
same place on the MacBook Pro that they were on the
got
M1
you.
Mac
Yeah,
and on my iMac Pro, and it still doesn't. I mean, I have to go find them, and it brings them back in again.
yeah,
But basically, I have to kill the one that's there and reload it.
got you,
It's
got you.
not finding it where it should. But
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a difference, programming wise, if there's a difference on how to find that folder on a MacBook versus on a Mac Mini versus on the iMac Pro. I mean, it would seem to me it's the same operating system.
yeah.
It should know that's where it is.
Well, the way that I understood that profiles work, Doc's just saying he'll help tomorrow, so that'll be good. But the way that I understood profiles work is it just has all of the assets together in a package, and so when you send it to somebody, it's got all of the images and everything like that. But I know that you mentioned about it was stuff that was in the background or something. So
Yeah,
what I'm
well,
going to do
like
is I'm going to do a test where basically I have images in the showing all scenes, showing current scene, and showing background, and see if there's any difference. It could just be something where you never know. It could
yeah,
be
it's like
a bug,
like your
basically.
back like your background image now.
Yeah,
If that was my profile,
yeah,
and I wanted to bring it over to my other, it would not show that picture, but in the menu, it would show that it was an option.
right, right. Yeah, I get you. So it is the green screen background as opposed to in showing the background in the scene, the overlays. You mean
No, no, no. The background
the
you're
green
using
screen
right now.
background?
No,
Got
that's
you.
not a green. The blue
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah,
triangular thing
yeah. I see. I see. Yeah. So that
where
is
it's
one where it's showing background in the overlays tab. Yeah. So all I'll do, what I'll
right.
do is I'll do it today. I'll just do a quick test where I've basically images in all of the different places and then see. Because in theory, the way I understood it was everything would just be in that one package and you wouldn't need to import any other assets. So I'll do a little test.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting that. That is actually that's already on my list to ask Doc for tomorrow night. So
Doc's just mentioned another good one. Yeah, that's also what I do. My danger windows are either the first week or the week that I'm about to sell it. Yeah, that is exactly the same. If I've got anything to sell, then I can be sure I'll scratch it or something. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No. Well, I'm being very careful
yeah.
because they gave me too much money for it to have them say, "Oh no, you got this and you got that," and no, we're not doing it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the yeah, I'm gonna have to have a little look at this because I'm sure that the thing about the profiles was you can create a package and you wouldn't need to send out any other assets or anything like that. It would just all unpack it all and put them in all the right place. But I'll do a bit of investigation today.
Okay, because the size of the file is certainly big enough to have everything in it.
Well, that's right, and that's what Ken and Glenn said on the thing where they introduced. I think it was in the beta actually, where they were talking about it, where they did the sort of rundown of all the features in the group, and then they mentioned about that. They said just bear in mind that if you have got videos and stuff like that in there, that the file size will just get big because it is encompassing all of those assets into the thing. So but anyway, we'll have to. We'll investigate further, and I'll let you know what I find out anyway.
We will. Okay. It's getting late for me. Oh, I dented a rim 2 days before my beam release. I have tire and rim protection on my lease, Doc.
Will the profile have fonts and music? I think the answer is no, but wanted to ask. I don't know about the fonts. I think that the fonts might have to be system fonts. That's a very good question, but the music certainly should be there, I think. I'll test all of this today. I'll stick some fonts on my Mac Mini, and then I'll transfer over to my laptop, and then I'll see, and I'll stick some music in there. I'll do a little test. I might as well record it as well while I'm doing it.
Well, anyway, it's getting a little late. I got to take care of him and head on out. But thank you for having me on.
Cool. It's a pleasure. I think that's fonts don't carry, but music does. So that's the answer. So fonts don't carry, but the music does. So,
fonts deal with your system.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
So if you don't have it in the other system, it's not gonna transfer over.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've come across that when I transferred files from one computer to another that I was doing in either Final Cut Pro or After Effects. I had to go bring the fonts back in. So that's understandable.
Uh-huh.
Well, and the other thing is you can share this with other people, and if you're using paid fonts or like us on the Adobe. Where we bring the Adobe fonts down, they don't want you giving those away free to someone else.
That's it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Makes total sense. Well, it's always a pleasure, Michael, chatting, and it is always lovely.
It's a pleasure coming on, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Great stuff. All right, Michael. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in office hours.
You're quite welcome. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night. And good night, Doc.
Well, it's about that time when I wrap up as well. It's been just over 2 hours, actually, and I didn't think I had a lot to talk about today, but it's always the way, as Doc, you mentioned earlier. They just seem to run on. And I've heard my son, I'm in the basement down here, so I always hear him coming, running down the stairs and then into the living room above me. So my son's up and about, so I'm going to wrap it up there. And I will no doubt be producing quite a few videos about Loupe Deck next week. It's arriving on Monday, so expect a video out Monday evening or Tuesday. It might be time for me to have a nap actually as well, because I normally get up at 3:00, but I was up at 1:00 this morning, which is how I was on your 2 live streams, your one in the Ecamm group and then the one about the Ecamm affiliates as well. Really appreciate that, by the way, Doc, because it has sort of given me the impetus to get my paid paywall up for some of my paid content as well. So I'll definitely try and get my act together and get that done within the next month or so by the end of the year. Start the year as we mean to go on. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and saying hello, and for all of your wonderful comments. And Doc's 2 p.m. I'm a master at power naps, by the way. My wife actually just always laughs at me, the fact that I can sleep literally anywhere. I never have any issue. It could be in a in a chair in the living room, or it could be in a noisy airport lounge, or anywhere at all. It doesn't matter. The noise does not affect me. If I want to sleep, I will sleep. So it's one of my my superpowers. I'm not sure what superhero there would be that has napping as their core superpower, but there you go. That is me anyway. So I may have a little morning nap myself. Thanks again, for all popping by, and thanks, Rich. I can see your comment up here. It just hasn't come up in Ecamm yet. Great to see you as always, and I'll see. probably see most of you actually in Doc's office hours tomorrow. If you haven't already, head over to buymeacoffee.com/DocRock and sign up for office hours. Full of admiration for the group, and it's just amazing. So definitely head over to there. I might just permanently change my my link to Doc's link, because it's an amazing group. So that's all for me. I am going to sign off now and head to my end screen and say, if you are watching on the replay, there'll be some more great videos coming up next, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. All right, have a great day. Bye everyone.